Okay, and we're live in 5, 4. So,
Hi!
what's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Welcome to the Great Success Studio.
Great Success Studio. We're your hosts. I'm Lewis.
And Arena.
And
Welcome.
welcome. Today, we are reviewing the movie Longlegs, which we saw last night in theaters, and we're going to give you our thoughts about it.
Yeah. So, it was okay. It was not something that we expected to see based on the trailer.
The trailer was a bit misleading. They kind of marketed it as like a Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Or Seven. And I also, it kind of like also, we were talking about last night, but also kind of wanted to be like Prisoners. The film Prisoners.
You think no, I don't think they wanted.
Yeah, it was like a
vibe.
crime kind of. Wasn't there all symbolic shit?
Yeah, but it seems like they tried to maybe be like similar to other movies, maybe Prisoners included, or Seven, but at the same time, it's absolutely not even similar. It's like they try to have like some similarity, but also be unique.
But what do Seven, Prisoners, and Silence of the Lambs all have in common? There's no supernatural shit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where, like, because to me, it wanted to be like this cool, like, crime mystery that, like, you were gonna solve together. All the marketing was like all the symbolic shit, like all these symbols, like setting up like this zodiac.
And there's suspense in all of them. Like there's a clear story. You need to find that person or stop the crime happening, and there's a suspense all the way in all 3 movies.
There was almost no suspense in Longlegs. I don't think there was.
No, there was not. There was not, and it's really confusing because you're trying to understand after you watched it. What was it? Was it the horror? Was it the thriller? Was it the suspense?
Which would have been cool because it doesn't need to like fit into any kind of box. It could have been something cool and fresh and new. It didn't need to fit into like any boxes, but it wasn't really. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we were kind of saying like a lot of those things probably they could have solved if they in the writing.
Yeah. There's like it seems like the story is not developed. Like there's no depth in it, and characters seem like they were not developed much. In relationships between characters also were not developed. I felt like, and but I like the visuals. I think that was a cool movie to watch in the movie theater specifically because
it was honestly like the first scene was like one of the scariest like first scenes that I've seen in a fucking long time.
Yeah, there were a couple like scary moments. Yeah, but it's not the scariest movie of the year. Like
I don't know. So, I mean, it was fucking scary, but it was like it could have just been so much better if they had like if the story was tighter. Because they were like trying to build this big. By the way, this contains spoilers, obviously at this point. But they were trying to build up like this big kind of world where this serial killer was on the loose for like 20 years. It started in like the 70s when the chick from It Follows was like a girl. Yeah. And then 20 years later, and like I think he murdered like 20 fucking families or something. But. They didn't even make it seem like he was like that popular, like a Jeffrey Dahmer, like a BTK or Night Stalker.
They just randomly assigned her to work.
It seemed like a small case in the film. It seemed like not a big deal. They were like, and then she's a fucking psychic, like right off the bat.
Why? No, I think she was a psychic in the beginning. Like they showed that she was a psychic, but also, what does it?
That's what I mean. Right off the bat. What
does it add to the story? Like, what is it like? Why, like
yeah, I really
and I guess at this point it's going to be like spoilers, because and it's going to be just for people who already like watched it.
So she's a fucking psychic, like right off the bat. Like the first scene, she's like, they're like, the sergeant's like, all right, you guys go knock door to door and be like, has anyone seen this suspect or whatever? And then she's like, it's that house,
right?
Like okay. Then I walk in, and it is that house.
Yeah, and like how, what does it add to the story? Like that she's
No,
a
she's just a
psychic,
fucking
like, yeah,
psychic.
and then well, since we already saying
But we might be missing
spoilers,
something
like,
too, because I guess they kind of justified it later a little bit, because also they were like that brain thing that's in the dolls, like that orb, that like metallic.
Yeah, what was that?
So
about?
she was like, I don't remember if it was the mother or like Nicolas Cage, like later, but they were like, it's a little like piece of him is in every one of those orbs, and like so the girl, so what's her name, Micah Monroe, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it was trying to say like whatever, like if he makes a doll of you, he can kind of like influence your mind, because your mind is like linked to the doll.
I see.
That's why at the end when she shoots it with the shotgun, she like the smoke comes out of the fucking doll, and then she like gets all dizzy and passes out.
I see. So it's like
they were trying to say like a voodoo doll kind of thing, like mind control.
Oh my god! But like with that kind of stuff, it can be any. It says.
It's fine.
It's fine. Like when it gets like supernatural.
Just as no card. It's fine.
It wasn't there. When it's like supernatural like that, it can be anything. They can do anything. It can be dolls, it can be not dolls, it can be brains.
They didn't even make him into a doll maker. Like, that's what I was saying to you last night. So it's like they're like
white
basically
dolls.
They set up this, and it would have been so fucking sick if they basically they're like, we don't know how Longlegs is doing this. Oh my god, the camera wasn't on you, but now it is. No, I wish it was. Irina just went to take a sip of her margarita. By the way, we are not sponsored, but we're trying to be. So if anyone from Happy Dad is watching,
or from
we don't want that shit. Don't send that here. Oh yeah. Okay. So the whole fucking story goes right, and they're setting it up that there's going to be like this like really mysterious logical explanation to everything.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like somehow he's influencing, but they tell this story and they keep digging the whole more mysterious and and like you're like, how are they going to justify this? And then they're like, he's a supernatural doll maker.
Right. And then they
solved. And then they literally do like this exposition like flashback to she's a little girl, and the mother just literally tells her as she's telling the audience, yes, he's a doll maker, and then I made a deal so he wouldn't, and I became his, right hand man, so he would spare you. And it's like, bitch, like why didn't you like call the cops?
They do something, just
like you went along and became a murderer for 25 years.
Exactly, yeah. No one
like you didn't have a chance to
and also
to fucking stop that.
No one could find him for so long. It's like a little.
And then she's
like no one could find.
Like no one could find it, and then the sergeant's like, go home and like talk to your mother. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she comes back the next day. She's like,
actually,
this is a picture of him.
She just remembered.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, like she didn't
this
think
is
about
him.
it before.
Yeah.
Because she was working on the case already.
And then he just gets arrested.
Yeah, like.
And he's waiting by the fucking. Yeah, I thought that was a funny scene too, where like he's like she gives the Polaroid, and then the following scene, I think, they're like squad cars go out, and then he's like at a bus stop with like two suitcases, like he's trying to escape. But then he knew that they were gonna find, like, because he was kind of doing like this Joker thing, like, I know you're gonna arrest me, like, haha, this is funny to me.
Because of that Polaroid, that's why they found him.
Which I guess, like, they could, I would believe that if they were like got a tip, like, oh my god, like, or like, I know who that is, like, that's that creep from the ponds.
Like, and then like it's a. Weird, like, oh, you see Polaroid and you're like immediately, all right, we know that guy, let's arrest him. And that case, as you said, been going on like for a while. Like,
there was no, and then they were just like, oh, like, and then he's like living in the basement the whole fucking time, and she's on the FBI. She like never, and then they were trying to say like, and it's just like, it's just shitty kind of storytelling, because they're just like, oh yeah, he can make you not remember shit too.
Well, again, you can create.
I can do anything. I can do anything and just be like, some shit.
He had the power to do this or that.
Some shit like, let's even like fucking. It's a way different kind of movie, but like in horror, pretty much like let's just say It Follows, right? In the first scene, they set up the rules for the whole film. They're like, it's kind of like you pass this curse along, and if you don't, you die.
Yeah, because even if it's
The Ring 1, same thing. If you watch the videotape, you have 7 days. If you don't, you die.
Yeah, because even if it's supernatural, there's still some rules.
There's rules.
Going on. Because if
it's
there's
set
no
up
rules,
the world.
Supernatural,
it's anything.
Then it can be anything.
Then it's The Ring 2, and it fucking sucks. Which The Ring 2 is probably the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
And the worst CGI deer. Performance. I mean, okay,
and also,
keep going.
And also that bad guy, he killed himself, right? And then somehow he called her on the phone.
Yeah, so now he's a ghost as well. Yeah. Which is allowed now, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just like me.
Sally Draper was a bitch.
Who?
Sally Draper.
Oh yeah, no, she was cooler. I mean, in terms of like acting and all that, but like
they were doing like this Manson family.
Like, as I said, like none of the characters were like developed. Like
no.
You don't really care about any of them. Even like the lead, even though I think she's a great actress.
Dude,
but like,
and it's like
there's not like you don't really like you're not like really like
two things. Oh my God. Two things. The
you
fucking,
almost like don't care.
Remember the mom? You meet the mom 2 times over like what's her name is on the phone with her mother, and then she's like, have you been saying your prayers? She says it the first time. The second time she's on the phone, she's like, have you been saying your prayers? So you think like she's really religious, right? But then she's like a fucking hardcore Satanist murderer. Like is she trying to be ironic?
Yeah, and again, you don't understand. Is she crazy? Is she upset what she's doing? Is she like protecting her daughter?
She sets it up like if I don't do this, we will die and we will burn. Remember, she goes, if I don't do this, we go to hell and we burn and we twist and we burn. And
you don't understand like why this,
why
that, why this. It's like you can be anything.
You can do anything and then just be like, it's fucking magic,
right?
Dark magic. Oh yeah, and another thing that was like, it's like so convenient that like, oh how convenient. Like you could have solved it if you just had thought about it a little more and make it more. Not even that it has to be realistic, but it's just like it's this poor. I don't even know because it's like, remember? So Sally Draper is like they're like so they find Sally Draper's doll and they like take it out of the floor and then they're like they call and they're like Sally Draper just woke up. So they go and visit Sally Draper. She's being a fucking cunt, right? And then she's like, Longlegs visited me yesterday.
Yeah. And he used her name, right? The agents, like
but still, the cops that are like guarding the hospital, they're not a little bit suspicious about this maniac that came and visited her yesterday. And like, even though he signed in with like a fake name, it's like he's literally white. He's like, ooh, he's like, poop, poop, poop. What does he go? Cuckoo,
cuckoo, yeah.
And then he's like,
well, he's like a weirdo.
Yeah. He's a fucking weirdo, and no one thought that was suspicious. And then they do this comedy scene where like, oh, well, our guests aren't required to sign in. It's like, well, yeah, but her family just got fucking murdered, and a maniac visited it at the hospital.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, look, I mean, come on. If there's been like such a serious crimes going on for like so long, I'm pretty sure there would be like more
security.
Yeah. People would like actually like search for him. If you kill like families for like many years. And then because of Polaroid, then they're like, oh.
And then also,
that's him.
Which was fucking stupid. Like, here's the picture of him.
Yeah, but again,
I found it in my room.
Supernatural stuff, like he could control minds.
And then it's like anything. There's no rules. Yeah,
like anything.
They didn't set up a doll that he was a doll maker. You don't even really.
Yeah.
I guess they kind of were like, here's a doll. And then that fucking creepy dude at the forensics was like, this is human hair. This, I've been calling it the brain. And when I listen to it, and then she's like, it affects her. So it's all spells and witchcraft and shit.
He used her name to visit Sally.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I guess, they're trying to show that he was fucking with her, right? But then why?
Why?
And there's no.
Why was she like the
like,
chosen one? Because the mother was the.
Yeah.
And then like once again, why does he give a shit?
Yeah, my camera turned black.
Oh no. All right, talk to the main camera. I'll try to.
Okay. Yeah, and also that when they arrested him, he was in the room and the main character came to talk to him. There were no securities around, no one is around, empty room, empty hallway. Then he starts killing himself, which is also, we are not certain if it's even possible to kill yourself like that, because you would probably get just knocked out, and, if you do it, like, extremely hard. But, I mean, I don't know. And she didn't scream, like, there was no people around. If he's such a dangerous serial, like, killer, I'm pretty sure there would be at least one person, like, outside, like, hearing something weird and, like, checking on him and her. So, that was weird. And, yeah, it's like, you don't even know
Shit.
what you just watched.
Technical difficulties, folks.
It's
That's
okay.
all good.
Can you...
Yeah. Sorry, we've had a bunch to drink, but...
Not really. I can see myself upside down.
It's disorienting to you?
Yeah.
You want to see it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what else?
It's kind of fucking disappointing.
Yeah, there was like such
a
a
bit.
about it.
And it's not a cheap date to go to the movies today, so that kind of pissed me off.
Yeah,
Performances.
like
I think that we also said that like the one redeeming thing is that the actress, the main actress, was like really good.
Yeah.
Remember?
No, yeah.
Because she's like intense.
It
It follows.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, it was good, but it was just like so in your face, like I'm gonna be fucking creepy psycho.
Like, it almost feels like he was just like excited to create this like character and like be someone weird and maybe add his like.
But no one's like that.
No one's
like that.
Yeah.
Even like
it has to make sense the whole movie, and it a bit seems like there's like different directions in this movie. It's almost like one person wants this, another person wants that. And then there is like a mess, and it's not like a whole like movie. That
I wonder how
sense,
I wonder how collaborative the director was with Nicolas Cage, because Nicolas Cage shut up and he was like, "I'm gonna do this," and like we're gonna paint like this is my interpretation.
That's actually how it.
And then the director is like afraid to like say.
Oh yeah. It could be. This is how it felt like, to be honest. That it's like there's no clear direction in the movie. It's like not a. Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, am I still on?
Yeah, I mean, just talk to this camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you don't really understand what they're trying to achieve, and like Lewis said that he didn't see that, but I saw like they tried to be like artsy fartsy, but like I think it was also not like successful. Like a little they tried. Like there's like obviously like some images just like pop in, like this editing. Like music, just like some monologues, some like laughing, singing. I don't know. I felt there was some. Well, like weird monologues in like almost like theatrical way, when the bad guy was doing that.
Longlegs.
Yeah.
Why don't you just come sit over here real quick and we'll just wrap this up?
Right.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
This is our podcast studio that we've been building, so thank you for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. Now we're just going to share this camera and this microphone.
Oh, here's me.
Yep. Try to get a bit closer.
I'm sweating.
I know. These lights are really hot. We had nice lights, but we returned them because they weren't as good, so we didn't want to like waste all that cash on it. But yeah, so let's I guess we'll wrap it up. So Longlegs, I would wait till it came out on Hulu. I mean, it's like really fucking scary, and like, but the story it's frustrating because it's just if they just spent, I don't even know, because the director might just love it, so who knows, like who cares what the fuck I think, but
not for our taste.
Not I was just expecting something else. Like those, I love Seven. I love Prisoners.
Oh, Prisoners were amazing.
Prisoners is fucking like way underrated.
Awesome. Yeah.
And
awesome.
Silence of the Lambs, obviously.
Yeah, classic. Yeah.
So it's just disappointing that they used the whole supernatural thing as like a get out of jail free if the writing.
Yeah.
They
should stick to it and use some rules with it.
Yeah,
You know?
like set it up somehow. I mean, but like also once again, if you just want to be scared, you just watch it because it's like, and it's like shot beautifully. It looks awesome, and it's really fun to watch in the movies. But once again, it's just not worth it. Really, it's just frustrating because it could have been something like a classic.
Yeah,
it could have been a classic.
Like cast is there, budget is there, everything is there, but there's no no good script. I think not a good script.
Not a good script. Okay. Well, let us know if you liked it and if we're just wrong.
Yeah.
We're going to put this video out. We're going to continue to drink, and
if you disagree, you're gonna be blocked.
Yeah, we will cross you. We're gonna disagree. Yeah, we'll be going live. I know that doesn't matter, but we're going live all night. Yeah, thanks for joining us. This is great success. This is our first movie review in our new studio, and we still have the group camera. We're missing Arena's camera, but that's us, and we're gonna fix this.
So it's all good.
She's here. I'm here. Like and subscribe.
Thank you.